Welcome to a challenging and rugged hike with a unique landscape on the island of Madeira. The first step of this adventure is to reach Pico do Areeiro, the third highest peak on the island at the break of dawn, to witness a gorgeous sunrise from an elevation of 1,818 meters, from where you can admire the layer of clouds below you. The landscape changes colors as the sun rises above the layer of clouds. Pico do Areeiro is at about 35 minutes drive from Funchal, the capital of Madeira, and the sunrise from here is considered the best in the island. Once the sun comes up, all the hikers leave for the hike at the same time, so the trail gets a bit cramped in the beginning, till everyone settles into their own pace and spread out. The dramatic landscape unfolds almost immediately. Tall, jagged volcanic mountain peaks, nearly vertical cliffs, and a narrow path leading to your destination, Pico Huivo, the highest peak in Madeira, about 6 kilometers away. This stretch of the path runs on top of a ridge in the interiors of mountainous terrain between the two peaks. Some stretches have sheer drop on both sides. Anywhere you stop and look around feels like it could be the best viewpoint. It's super windy on top. Holding the camera steady could prove to be a challenge sometimes. It is perfectly safe to walk on this path, as potentially risky stretches have handrails. Although people with fear of heights may find it a bit challenging. However, there are some parts of the trail that are exposed. The path all the way to Pico Huivo is straightforward and easy to follow, but it is definitely not easy in effort. The interesting features of the path include uneven ground, dark tunnels, stunning views, wildflowers on the sides, and steep inclines with a stretch of vertical metal stairs. The trail connects two peaks, the third highest and the highest in Madeira. After some time into the hike, descent begins on the path. All this steep descent meant at some point there will be an equally steep ascent, as we were heading for Pico Huivo, the highest peak with an elevation of 1,862 meters. Although the difference between the height of two peaks is not much, the trail ascends through challenging terrain with steep inclines, and there is a significant elevation gain. The vegetation is rich along the trail. Some special plants native to Madeira Island can be spotted here. This section of the path is carved out along the side of the mountain. It is very narrow, with a sharp drop on one side, giving the feeling of walking right on the edge of something. Fencing lines the entire length of this section. The path is so narrow that if people are coming from the other side, it will be a tight squeeze. The ground is quite uneven in some places. My destination Pico Huivo was still 2.4 kilometers away. And then started the hardest part of the hike. The never-ending stretch of stairs of all kinds that felt like eternity, including metal stairs that could better be described as ladders. I paused here to look back how much I had climbed. The worst was over, and with the end of this stretch, I had crossed over to the other side of the mountain. It was bright and sunny on this side, and the mountain landscape was spectacular. While there was still a lot of climbing left to do, but it was much easier in comparison to what I had just done. Amidst lush vegetation, there were lots of skeleton trees in this part of the forest, charred and leafless. They got burned down in a forest fire some time ago. Admiring the beautiful scenery, I finally reached my destination, Pico Huivo. Being the highest peak, one can enjoy a panoramic view from here. The blue of the sky and the blue of the ocean kind of merged, so the horizon was not clearly defined. Nonetheless, the views made all the efforts worthwhile. Now it was time to head back. There are two ways to go back. One is to go all the way back to Pico do Areeiro, which was the starting point this morning, or go to Achada do Teixeira, which is 2.3 kilometers from here, and that's where I had arranged my pickup through a tour company. The return hike to Achada do Teixeira is a pleasant one, with mostly level walking of 2.3 kilometers. The hike on the trail between the two peaks, navigating rugged terrain to reach the breathtaking summit of Pico Huivo, is an unforgettable experience. The island's stunning landscapes and panoramic views made every step rewarding.